Welcome to this presentation where I will provide a comprehensive analysis of the British American Football Association, or BAFA. The firm has an established history and has pioneered the presence of American football in the UK, which has begun to grow in importance due to both local and international market developments. In this presentation, I will provide an overview of how a new social media communication and public relations strategy can allow BAFA to capitalize on these trends to expand its reach. The project stakeholders identified as the end custodians for this strategy are the board of directors for the BAFA, which includes Nicole McCulloch, chairwoman, Pete Ackerley, BAFA CEO and company management, Ian Deacon, non-executive director and the representative of local communities. The three stakeholders possesses the organizational resources needed to augment and expand BAFA's communication reach. In this project, I, Cha Wing Chak, will have deployed theories and internal strategies from Base Business School's media and communications module to act as the communication lead and have conceptualized synchronized steps and assets to facilitate BAFA's future growth. The objectives of the BAFA campaign are twofold and mutually interconnected. Firstly, in 2028, a soft contact version of American football will be introduced into the Olympic Games. Although research has shown that stigma exists around the physicality of this game, flag football is appropriate for a younger demographic. This means that across global participating countries, the interest of the younger player base needs to be attracted to act as both the audience and the player base. This links directly into the second objective, which is to increase club recruitment drives and establish American football within British grass sporting culture. Inspiration will be taken from the hugely popular NFL communication strategy. The draft recruitment and a digital asset-based strategy will be conceptualized to inspire young players to enter the BAFA League. And this is what we'll be going through with today. The sport of American football is newly established in the United Kingdom and has a relatively recent history compared to the other field sports. As a modern sport throughout its existence, it has existed in a competitive league with the first match taking place in 1910. In comparison, the first professional FIFA soccer match was played in 1870. The initial sport began as an offshoot of the military. During World War II, Commonwealth, American followed alongside Europeans where the sport was institutionalized under practice military drills. Since American football is structured under two teams, offense and defense, its tactics were suitable to a warlike environment where coordination training was vital and necessary. It was considered to be a tactical sport suitable for off-duty army soldiers. The league was initially consolidated. However, structural conflicts caused a split between the British American Football League and the British American Football Association, with the former ultimately being replaced by a community league. The BAFA is thus the surviving institution in the UK and holds the right to a variety of proprietary assets. The BAFA organizes itself amongst small community stadiums which form a regionalized base for teams. It currently holds 28 stadiums across with an average capacity of 5,000 seats, the largest of which is the Don Valley Stadium located in South Yorkshire, which has 25,000 seats. The tenancy of the stadium is currently provided from a sponsorship and subscription model from regional teams who act entrepreneurially to develop their own player hubs. The core value of the BAFA have also been considered within the media plan so that the communication strategy is companionable with the brand value proposition, engagement plan, player and audience perspective. The behaviors which govern the firm has been set centrally and encompass the prevailing mental model for the brand to build a 10-year vision. The beliefs are to be progressive to facilitate innovation, responsive to trends by engaging with stakeholders, inclusive for all, to remove barriers to participation, and driven to do the right thing to finally facilitate enjoyment and create engaging experiences for all. These beliefs then became embodied into 4 values, which drive the central operations of the BAFA. The first is facilitate participation of lifelong partnerships in all formats, which has seen the rise of women, flag football, and university leagues. Second is core to people so that an adequate supportive workforce infrastructure is present to support the growing league. Third is investing in places to play so that sustainable communities can fostering high quality performance environments. Finally, is a commitment for collaboration and development, which seeks long-term athletic development so that skills are adequately developed and that players ultimately are primed for the Great Britain selection. Given that the campaign is designed to increase the reach of BAFA and in particular its younger demographic, when considering BAFA's value for participation, this results in a strategy to expand all of its current markets. Its current target demographic is split into adult and youth categories based on whether the participants are aged 18 or over. Each category is then further split into both contact and non-contact versions of the game, notably where flag football resides. When looking at the adult demographic, there is a split between men and women football as illustrated by the number of teams. The BAFA's main national league, which is present for men, has 70 teams, whereas its equivalent for women only has 17, 70 and 17. A strong driver of the demographic is also university students, which represents 81 teams from participating and partnering schools. The non-contact version of the sport are less popular, although National Flag Football League has 60 teams, which will be the version of the sport played in the Olympics. What is notable is that this is played equally by men and women. However, Olympics is split, which highlights that this tournament may need to be further segregated. The women's flag football team on its own currently has 15 teams, of which include the current European champions who recently beat Sweden for the title. When looking at alternative field sports, there is notable competition in an industry. The force of competition for developing the BAFA cannot be discounted, as professional athletes seldom move between industries. Once their competence in the sport is demonstrated, this becomes a path dependency that fixes their careers. Further, although American football is novel, its tactical, warlike approach, there are alternative tactical field sports prevalent in the market and have much greater popularity. This means that they have been institutionalized greater in the UK, have a larger fan base, and therefore larger access to resources that drives a self-perpetuating cycle. The BAFA, as a result, must climb the steep force of competition to gain a greater foothold in the UK market. According to data from Statista, the number of registered non-contact rugby players in the UK is in excess of 2 million, which forms direct competition with American flag football. Soccer is next with 800,000, and these form the two largest sports. The remainder sports of basketball, cricket, and handball operate in a similar small size to American football and also offer the same tactical team-based experience. Notably, handball and basketball offer faster-paced games which speed-seeking consumers may gravitate towards as a preference. This means that when analyzing the popularity of non-contact field sports, American football ranks 5th, with a relatively small market size of 250,000. BAFA hired a web and social media manager on April 23rd, 2020, who pioneered the firm's first consolidated introduction into the digital sphere and emerging social media platforms. Prior to this, BAFA had no digital presence. It currently operates under 4 channels, with each of them appearing to serve a different purpose. Its main assets is its consolidated website, which provides detailed information, informing consumers how to volunteer and take part in the tournaments. Its main page also displays recent news, which is regularly updated, showing developments for BAFA. The website is spanning and provides full information about the history, management, and purpose, as well as the operations of the league. Twitter, formerly X, is its second resource and is currently inactive with no posted date for 2024, despite multiple news pieces being released. The Twitter site mainly provided match outcome information and internal community based repost showing turnouts and successes. Its Instagram is the most active page for BAFA with over 11,000 followers. The majority of its contents utilizes short throw videos, which presents infographic summaries of games for community awareness. It shows divisional information for teams competing as well as highlights from the games. All of its posts are in partnerships with the local teams. Finally, its Facebook assets displays information which is homogeneous with the Instagram feed and is regularly updated as well. Engagement under likes, comments, and shares is relatively strong. It is therefore a sign that although the content is homogeneous, Facebook allows BAFA to reach an older demographic, which still drives motivation for community engagement. BAFA's recent marketing campaign across its 4 channels highlights significant deficiencies in the current age where social media can drive suitable growth that its competitors are adhering to. I found that duplicate content is being shared across all the channels systematically. This has a result in the fluctuating engagement rates through the number of comments, likes, and reaction for homogeneous content. This can cause internal errors as whilst BAFA may be assuming that it's sending out systematic messages. This is resulting in message confusion for the audience. BAFA does not tailor them to each medium, except this is partially done for Instagram through short video content, although this is mainly done by local teams and not BAFA centrally. Medium inappropriate content is therefore being shared, which causes confusion amongst players and the audience, preventing its communication strategy leading to sustained growth despite follower number increasing. This confusion increases the barriers to participation, which is away from BAFA's values, as there's too much learning involved for potential prospects, highlighting that this synchronization issue needs to be resolved. Finally, where BAFA does provide channel-appropriate content, this is drowned in the noise of spam content, which means that standardized messaging has not yet emerged. Given that social media holds the power to increase BAFA's reach exponentially if harnessed correctly, this needs to be resolved to achieve the objectives of attracting new players for the upcoming Olympics. Further, there is time pressure, given that players need time to develop and become skilled before participating. Given the current fragmented landscape of BAFA's digital communication strategy, I propose that the display taxonomy is used. It starts with the community through the playing of the physical sport, which BAFA already facilitates. Notably, over 15 flag football games will be played for the remainder of 2024, which can be leveraged. Individually, the players have an aggregated following greater than that of the BAFA and its respective teams alone. Empowering players to upload their highlight plays using a standardized format can allow for more content to flood the peer-to-peer space, encouraging engagement. This will further be shared within individual players' social media sphere, targeting other like-minded sports enthusiasts, therefore allowing BAFA to reach its intended target demographic without having to exert additional resources to locate this group. Research has shown that this leads to a greater sport following as exciting plays showcase as content generates shares and reactions. Next, the team could start promoting their individual players' highlight reels so that they could advertise to a wider local community that they are part of and empower new peripheral players to interact with the local brand. Finally, BAFA can select viral content to display on its main page, signaling legitimacy and creating a mechanism where player-driven content becomes the focal point of the brand, creating a superstar-like personality. The content template has been generated to capitalize on the explosive growth of short throw content. Over 200 billion reels are played across Instagram and Facebook each day. 2.3 billion people interact with them each month, and they obtain 22% more interaction than that of generic videos alone. Further, they attract all age demographics who spend on average more than 30 minutes a day consuming. These reels can, however, be standardized into a team-branded sports highlight as per the assets created. By using a border, it standardizes the brand message and highlights the individual player as the star assets, as you can see on the left. They are color-based and on the team's primary color choice, kit, and BAFA branding. This means that when teams and BAFA repost multiple times, the brands are showcased promoting internal team-based competition synonymous with the nature of the game. Captions can be created using the Kairos call to action purpose, therefore also signaling new joiners to take part in their own reel creation and ultimately joining BAFA's team academies. To personify this, I have used the join in campaign rhetoric. Further, since British players in the NFL will represent Great Britain for the Olympics, BAFA can also utilize the template to promote British NFL graduated players using the same template to generate greater engagement and virality. This passive strategy was selected due to BAFA's weak balance sheet at the close of 2023. The firm had a negative operating budget of negative 321,000, highlighting deficiency in forward-looking marketing. Given that BAFA already has the player roster on its asset and that these individuals have established followings, BAFA can leverage this resource to obtain engagement without paying a cost. Further, it does not cannibalize its approach to its other digital content strategy, as the templates are made to be duplicated across channels, therefore falling in line with BAFA's current strategy. It is, however, recommended that Twitter is revitalized, and its website is continued to be used for news-based content. A complementary press release example has been created using the media strategy template. A compelling heading and subheading have been created to give context behind the meaning of the strategy. The joining quote has also been added to create brand consistency with the bottom-up participation increased initiatives that has been rolled out. Further, context about the why, what, and who is also instilled. This provided a mechanism with aligning the strategy to the core brand values. Ultimately, the introduction of flag football into the Olympics is a means to increase participation, involvement, and player development of the wider local community, which BAFA has the ability to reach. This means that the expansion strategy is in line with the core values of both the population and BAFA itself, demonstrating the suitability for the initiative in the community. Explaining how the marketing strategy will work further provides transparency to stakeholders as peripheral teams, players, and the wider community are implicated in taking part. Contact information has been added so that readers can get in touch to provide feedback. The press release will be released on all digital channels so that the audience can engage, react, and comment so that further feedback is obtained. Finally, although a comprehensive timeline is included in the supplementary report, the key dates for rollout have also been included. All of BAFA's Division 1 flag football tournament events will occur on the 11th of May 2024 and the 13th of July 2024. It is therefore imperative that social media borders are created before then. Players will be briefed on how they can attach the borders to the highlights via mobile editing software and will be encouraged to post them. Teams will be informed on a sample selection process so that they can select which media to repost on their respective team profiles. Finally, BAFA will engage with digital advertising to increase the impressions of the team-based posts, and those that are deemed viral will be re-uploaded onto BAFA's profile itself, as well as peripheral digital communication channels. Using the player, team, and BAFA's bottom hierarchy, exponential amounts of player-created content can be shared, leading to increased engagement with BAFA overall, thereby attracting young prospective Olympians to the game of American football while solving BAFA's unsynchronized communication strategy. Thank you. And this is our reference, or my reference. Thank you.